when it comes to being held accountable, they have difficulty. So if you're an Aries watching this, I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to say I don't like you because I don't know you. I just feel that when I do these videos, it's a chance for all of us to learn. Hi everyone, welcome to my special reading that I do for you all. I actually have quite a few of these this week. For extra content, it is on my Patreon. Well, my version of Patreon, which is the link is in my bio. It's $11.11 a month. So it's a subscription. So if you sign up today, you get the month's worth of videos, and then it continues. So I drop usually about 3 or 4 a month, and yeah, I'm really excited for this. So this is about what we can learn from specific celebrities. It's so weird. I drank a lot of water like before I started doing my readings, which was quite a while ago, and now I'm only feeling it. So it's really interesting. Anywho, this could be a sign of this reading. So today we're going to talk about what we can learn from Lynn Spears, Britney Spears' sister. If you don't know what's going on, I did a video on Britney. A lot of what has happened has come true, that I predicted. I also predicted that she will be out of her conservatorship by the end of the year. I said by January 2022 she'll be out of it. And in this age of Aquarius, this is about freedom, liberation, and you will find there are going to be a lot of stories like this. Obviously Britney's story is horrendous and absolutely atrocious, but if you want to hear about that, check out the rest of my videos. There is a playlist. I also did a podcast with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Dana Borky, where I spoke about that. The link is in my bio. I spoke about she asked me a few different questions, so in honor of Britney and her healing process, I don't want to harp too much on about her because I feel like she deserves some space to heal and just support and love. She hasn't been given it for a very long time, I think specifically from her family. And as somebody who I believe I have come from a narcissistic family household where, you know, it's often, and I said this before, it's usually 3 kids in these kind of families, and it's either by matriarchy or patriarchy. In my case it was matriarchy, where you're kind of like pinned up against one another to kind of rival with your sister. Dr. Romani talks about it really well. I have been to therapy, gone through the process of healing, so if anybody wants any recommendations on what to do, you can always DM me, comment, and I will lead you in the right direction. There's nothing worse than discovering that some of the worst people in your life are your family, and I've gone through that, I've healed from it, and it's almost like once you do, it's like ripping off a band-aid from a scar or sore that you haven't looked at for 12 years, and it can feel overwhelming. You don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, but it's very important, especially in this age of Aquarius, that we do so, because, you know, gone are the days when we say, oh, just because you're blood you should stick together, or your mother knows best, stuff like that. You know, those kind of phrases that gaslight our experiences and tell us that we are unworthy because we're merely asking for genuine love. So I wanted to focus on Lynn Spears. She is an Aries, and Aries are not my favorite of the zodiacs, and I'll explain to you why. I've pulled her cards, and I just want to give you a quick backstory about Lynn Spears. I mean, we've caught her, as the public, I say we've caught her lying a few times. She said she wasn't a trustee, and if you've been following the Free Britney movement like I have for many years, she does have a lot to gain by having Britney in the conservatorship. You can do your own research about the conservatorship, or check out my video, but I just want to highlight how she called a lot of us, and I want to post this somewhere. I'm trying to think. I don't want my page to be about gossip, but a long time ago, I think it was about 3 or 4 years, don't quote me, and I'm paraphrasing, but she said that the Free Britney people were crazy and that we needed help and so forth, you know. So even when I used to talk to people, I would say, you know, isn't it kind of weird that she's in this conservatorship? Initially I understand why she was in it, but over time I say to people, you know, isn't it kind of weird she's still in it? And I get lots of backlash. I'm not saying I am a victim, I'm just saying that the media and the public as a whole had been so brainwashed to this narrative that the family had set up, and that's very classic of a narcissistic family household, is that everyone sticks to one story, and the person to speak out against it is the scapegoat, is crazy, is a liar, is all these kind of crazy things, names, and they'll try to make that person seem like the problem so that the system can keep going. So I feel like that's what this has happened here. I've pulled up Jamie Lynn's past, present, and future. To me, I think she is, her and her father are the spearheads, no pun intended, of this conservatorship. So her past, I pulled up, I got Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Two of Cups. So, you know, I never watched Zoe 101. I've never appealed, and it's funny because Jamie Lynn Spears is closer to my age than Britney is, but I've just always been so inspired by Britney Spears, by the dance moves. I mean, because I used to be a dancer, and to be able to dance like that takes a lot of talent, a lot of hard work, and she never complained. She always had a smile on her face, and just such a sweet, lovely person. I could feel her energy, especially when I did her reading last time. Did the reading about her last time. So with Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Two of Cups, I see this as kind of like a proposal. I think this is when she got pregnant at 16, and I'm not shunning anybody for getting pregnant. I actually commend her for keeping her child, and it seems like her child has turned out not, I have to be because I don't know the full story about the child, but it seems like the child is genuinely loved. And I will just say that because I believe everyone has good and bad within us, you know, good and evil rather. When we don't have to kind of bash her. So I'm not a fan of Jamie Lynn Spears, but I do want to treat her as a human, because she is a human, even though I believe she's done crazy things to her sister, and we'll get into that too. Lots of rivalry, very typical of Aries, but I still want to give her credit where credit is due, and her daughter seems happy. So her present, Six of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, and Knight of Cups. Okay, her present is looking very shady, because it's almost like she's trying to get rid, with Six of Swords, of something she did in the past. So we can clarify that a little later. There's money, Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, pardon me, that she has access to, that she's not being fully forthcoming about. She's kind of like trying to charm her way, Knight of Cups, out of it. She's like, oh, I didn't do anything. And it's like, really? Which to me, like I said, I don't gel well with Aries as a whole. I feel like, and she's in the dark side. The dark side of Aries is very much me, 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 me. And what's unfortunate is that a lot of Aries I have met have been in that me, me, me mode, because we live in a society that kind of promotes that. But now that we're coming out of the Pisces age and into the age of Aquarius, this kind of energy cannot exist anymore. And you'll see she's kind of like forced herself. We just saw that she sang her sister's songs. I remember watching that a long time ago, and I thought, that's really, really weird. And the thing about Aries and their dark side, they can't be genuinely happy for other people, and it's very, very unfortunate. So future wise, I see Two of Wands, Strength, and Three of Wands. Okay, she's gonna go through the fire. Literally, like, she's about to be called out. She's going to have to get security, stuff like that, because I think I can see death threats, and people going to her house, kind of trying to hunt her down on Britney's sake. And this is not Britney's fault. You know, people are like, why did Britney say that about her sister? You know, all those crazy fans are going to go after her. She should have known that behaving like that would lead to this. And that's the thing about having secrets in a family. When she says clearly that I felt uncomfortable, or I felt this, or I felt that, and speaks her truth, or speaks the truth, really, it's not appropriate to shun Britney for sharing her experience, because she is allowed to say that. So with World, the inspiration, Ace of Inspiration, she might try to flee the country. She might try to move to like Mexico, Europe. I get Mexico, maybe Mexico then Europe, but I see like a warm area. It might be Mexico, actually. I get that very strongly, because she can't handle the public scrutiny. And this is another dark aspect of Aries, is that they can always stout other people, but when it comes to being held accountable, they have difficulty. So if you're an Aries watching this, I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to say I don't like you because I don't know you. I just feel that when I do these videos, it's a chance for all of us to learn, including myself. And I got to a time in my life where I was like, I'm not dealing with Aries anymore, because a lot of the time, Aries and Libra, which are the opposite signs, a lot of the time when I would deal with Aries, it was very selfish driven, me driven. I actually had a stalker who was an Aries, who was a female who wanted to impersonate me, and she took on my persona. She said she looked like me, we don't look anything alike. I'm actually in the process of suing her. So I found with her particularly, and other Aries, that they'll do anything to be seen and to be liked, even if that means adopting other personas or literally taking from somebody else. So with that being said, in the age of Aquarius, that kind of energy is done. Now it's about transparency and authenticity. That's the reason I believe that Jamie Lynn could never do well, because people could tell she wasn't ever really being herself. And it's contrary to her sister, who has always been genuine, authentic, and naturally talented. So with 2 of Inspiration, 6 of Inspiration, she's still going to try to be famous. She's going to, this is, she wrote a book, right? I see a book, I see merchandise, like earrings. She's still going to try, she's going to keep trying, because she wants badly to be famous. And like I said, a lot of Aries I've met and have known are desperate to be famous. And to me, like I said, the calling now is not to be famous just to be famous. It's to be famous authentically, naturally, without taking on different people's personas. Because people, once you are a faker, people can see right through it, and there's nothing worse than being fake. Okay. Whew. So I do see the Priestess, well, Strength and 5 materials. She's going, I think she's going to be kicked out of the family dynamic. She's next. So first it was Britney, then it was her. There's going to be like lawsuits going on. Lots of lawsuits in a year from now. So in July 2022, there's going to be lots of lawsuits going down. And they're going to use Jamie Lynn as the scapegoat. So Queen of Swords and 6 of Cups, because the father wants to use somebody. He keeps trying to use somebody else. Maybe I should do a video about him. You can comment or DM me if you want. I get way more DMs than I get comments, which is so funny. But DM me or comment if you want me to do a video on the father, Jamie. But he's using other people to take responsibility for his actions. So he's like, it's not my fault, it's Lou Taylor's fault. It's not my fault, it's this person's fault. It's not my fault, it's so forth. Sorry, I was just fixing my top. Sometimes the under part comes under. So he's like, it's this person, it's that person, it's this person. And next he's going to say Lynn Spears. She was the problem, she was a lot to handle, she wanted to be famous, and some of it's true, but he used her to fulfill his mission, and that was to get a hold of Britney's money, in my opinion. So with Queen of Swords and Six of Cups, she's gonna have to give back. She's going to have to show that she's actually sorry and come from a genuine place, which I don't think she's capable of. But if she does, this fire she's about to go through will soften and won't be as harsh. And it's not up to me to decide whether she deserves it or not, that's up to God. But I do think she could have behaved better, in my opinion. And with the Emperor, she's still planning, strategizing, but this time she's doing it on her own, because in terms of strategy, they've kicked her out of the big picture. So I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, this is not gossip, it's just so we can learn from the experience. Having dealt with a lot of Aries myself, I have experienced Aries like her in my life, so I just wanted to give that perspective, and also how we can change, because all of us have the possibility to live in our light and not be so caught up in darkness and vengefulness and misery and competition. Like, healthy competition is good, you know, team sports, but I think to me the ultimate lesson that Aries need to learn in their lives is that life is a lot better when you work with other people, as opposed to just being self-driven and self-motivated. So hope you enjoyed that. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.